Folks, David here on the Vintage Future once again. Hope you are having a fantastic week. And today I just want to do a quick review on my Buzz Ricksons Chinos because a few people have asked me over the last year if I was going to do a review on those, and I've been chatting with a few people about those lately actually. So yeah, I just wanted to get this in there real quick. I originally heard about these through Jake, Almost Vintage Style. I had been talking to him and I DM'd at one point and was like, dude, I just want some chinos, just some regular chinos, but I don't want to spend $1 bazillion on anything. What do you wear? I see you wear chinos sometimes. And he's like, oh, you should totally check out Buzz Ricksons. Or Buzz Rickson. Rickson? Buzz Rickson. I don't know. And he's like, you want to buy them on Hinoya. So if you buy a lot of this kind of stuff other places, like if you were to find it in the United States, often there's a significant markup. I think they cover their costs to import it or whatever. If you just order it off of Hinoya's website and places like that in Japan, typically you can get it for a lot cheaper. So like if you look at sugarcane denim, 1947 sugarcane standard fit pair, it's going to be like, I think it's like 140 or something like that, 160 on Hinoya. And then you go look at Franklin and Poe and Selfridge and all that, and they're selling those same jeans for like $250. It's like $100 more, So anyways, so I just followed his advice and I went there, and I'm happy I did. So they have 3 models. They've got the Buzz Rickson 1942, the 1945, and the original spec. I don't know what original spec means, but obviously the 1942 and the 1945 are reproductions of the U.S. Military Chino from those years. The way the fit is going to be is the 42 is the biggest and widest. Those ones are known for being huge and baggy. I don't know the exact measurements, but like my 1945 Chino is a 10-inch leg. I'm a 33-inch waist, and with that hemmed at about 29 inches or so, your leg opening is like a solid 10 inches, maybe a little more. So the 42 is even bigger than that. I know a few guys that have those. Jeff, Denim Dentist, has a pair that he wears when he's going for that super laid back, oversized, flowy Minoru Matsuura look. The guy that started and owns and runs Brass Tokyo Clinch. So yeah, when you're going for that, it's a great look. You could probably hem them as well. The leg would be huge. Anyway, so that's the 1942. I got the 1945 in the original spec, and the 1945 has a button fly, and the original spec has a zipper fly. I'm assuming, okay, don't quote me on this, but my thought is, and I didn't do a bunch of research, obviously. What I'm thinking is the original spec is kind of like, maybe not a repro, but they're like, hey, this is like, in our minds, what like a standard chino would be, maybe vintage inspired. Anyways, so yeah, these are repros, so it's gonna have a lot of the things that you want on a reproduction. But if you're looking for something that's super modernized in the way it's constructed and the way it fits and everything, obviously this is not where you should go. In fact, I feel like the 45s are a bit big for me. They look really good on Jake, but I think, even though he's shorter than me, he's like 5'7", I think, and I'm 5'10". I have this really skinny kind of silhouette, And even before he worked out, he's got broad shoulders, a big chest. He's got that like football player look, and I definitely do not look like a football player. My son was asking me last night. He's 8 years old. He's like, Dad, how come you didn't play football like in college or whatever? I was like, son, people like you and me aren't big enough to play football. He's like, but I play with my friends. I'm like, yeah, you can play football until you get to like college. And then guys like us need to just check out, because you'll get broken in half. He's like, well, how big do you need to be? I was like, about twice my size, if not more. Anyways, so yeah, Jake could play football, maybe not pro, right? But like, I can, and he did play football, but like I can totally see him playing football in high school, maybe even college, for a spell, for me. Yeah, no. There's like, here's a bucket of water, kid. So, yeah, I feel like it's way disproportionate if I'm wearing like a tucked in shirt with my 1945s. It's a bit disproportionate. It's like a bell, you know, like I got these huge legs and this tiny little body. So that's not great. Unless you're trying to look like a sailor. I mean, like an old school sailor from the 40s or whatever. But I'm not trying to look like a sailor. So if I put a bigger jacket, like my grizzly jacket on top, then that works nicely. Or, you know, if I wear a shirt untucked over it, then that's a cool, relaxed vibe. But yeah, tucking it in, I think I look like an idiot. But hey, you got to try stuff, right? You gotta, you do. You have to try stuff, and you got to fail. Like with anything in life, if you don't fail, you're not getting anywhere. Like to be a winner, you have to learn how to be a loser. Guys who always win, they're actually not as good as you think, because at some point they hit their ceiling, and the first time they fail, they don't know what the heck to do with themselves because they're not used to losing. They don't know what to. Yeah, they don't know how to lose. You have to learn to lose, and then assess and analyze what went wrong here, and then you can decide, okay, now I know where to go next time, and that's how you learn to win, whether you have talent or not. So yeah, anyways, there's no such thing. I just want to encourage you and dispel this myth that like some people just put on clothes and look incredible, and other people look terrible and not stylish. It's like there is no one on the planet. Okay, tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe you're that guy. Just chime in and be like, I'm that guy. I've always looked good. I don't even have to try ever at all. But everyone, as far as I know, it takes effort. There's no such thing as somebody that just looks super cool and doesn't care. As far as like really getting into style. Obviously, there are people who would just naturally look cool. I have a friend that's like that. He literally doesn't care. He wears like the same clothes every day and stuff like that. And I think he looks super, super cool. But that's not most people's lives. And most people aren't getting up in the morning and wearing the exact same pair of clothes every day and like not getting a haircut and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, yeah, you have to get some fits wrong before you can get some fits right. And if you let the timidity get to you to where you're not going to be able to try those fits that don't work out, it's going to take you a lot longer to get those fits that do work out, in my opinion. And I'm not saying just do whatever, because it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, you should try. Like, nobody wants to walk out the door looking like a freak. Like, you should try not to do that. But inevitably you will. Like, there's going to be a few fits you put together and you're like, ooh, that was a mistake. And that's often why I take pictures. I'm way on the rabbit trail now, but whatever. Often that's why I take pictures of my fits. I used to think, oh, this is so weird. I don't know why people do this. I don't want to do that. It seems really self-absorbed. I think it can be if you do it for the wrong reasons. But I do it to like log my fits, because like it helps me see and remember like what looked good, what didn't, what worked, what did not. And here's the really nice advantage of a photograph. You don't look the same in a photograph as you look in the mirror, because your head's attached to your body. So you can only ever look at yourself in the mirror from a single perspective. You can't look at yourself from a side angle or an up angle or a down angle or the other side, right? From the back. You can only look at yourself from the perspective that your brain and your head and your neck limit you to, right? They are attached to your body. So you always only see it from the same angle. And that is not actually helpful when you're trying to figure out proportions and stuff like that. If you need to see proportions and all that, like, you need to take pictures and you need to make sure that your pictures are being taken with the right size lens. Like, if you take pictures with like a 120 millimeter lens, it's going to look way different than a 20 millimeter lens or something like that, you know? So you need to know a little bit about photography, or at least use a nice phone. Like, if you have an iPhone or a Samsung or whatever the like up-to-date phones are these days, like, do it, you know, try not to take pictures from like a downward angle or an upward angle, but just like straight on and all that stuff. Videos help too, because still shots sometimes can be very deceiving. You know, like you can have like a shirt or something. Jeff Denham Dentist and I were talking about this. You can have a shirt that doesn't actually fit, and you can get it to look just right, take the still shot, and everyone thinks it fits perfectly. But then if you see a video of you walking around in that shirt, you're like, oh my goodness, you're wearing a bag. It's huge. Or vice versa, like, that thing's way too tight, dude. So yeah, videos, and you don't even need to show people these videos. You know, just keep them in your private file. It's just for you to assess your fit and stuff like that. Anyways, so these 45s, the Buzz Ricksons 45s, they're a bit big. I do love them when styled correctly. I untuck my shirt with them, or I tuck my shirt in and put a big jacket on, and then they look great. Great with engineer boots. That's actually why I went to wide leg jeans and trousers, is because I started wearing my clinch highliners, and dude, fighting the pant leg to get it like up so you could tie the 14-inch boot, it was ridiculous. It was like, people do it, and that's great. Like, it doesn't, I don't think it looks wrong. It looks fantastic with tapered denim. Aaron Hubner, sorry dude if I butchered your last name, but Aaron, like, he does this. He's constantly wearing slim tapered kind of denim, and like, it looks good. It's just, for me, I just want to like pull the pant leg up in one shot real fast, tie the boots, throw the pant leg back down, instead of kind of having to fight the pant leg a little bit. And so, yeah, despite the fact that I can't style these 45s with everything, I do love that they're super easy to use with engineer boots, highliners, and any kind of tall shafted boot. And yeah, they are pretty good quality. Like, yeah, repro, so it's going to be cotton thread and stuff, which can come undone if you wear these all crazy, but I haven't been. The beige pair, and I got the beige color, yeah, on the 45s. That beige pair, one of the pocket bags, the stitching just came out of it like 3 weeks after I got it. Kind of weird, so I'm like, quality, meh. So I just sewed it back up myself, and it hasn't been a problem since. And then since then, I haven't had any problems with either pair of chinos, which shows me that I'm pretty sure they're actually really good quality, and that might have been a fluke thing, but you should just know that that's what happened with that. Yeah, no other issues of any kind with either pair. I hot soaked both of them to get all the shrink out, and then got them hemmed, and that was as per Jake's advice, and I'm glad I did that because there was some shrinkage. So, and they're big enough to where don't worry about shrinking them. Like, if you size them correctly and don't like try to, you know, asphyxiate the lower half of your body, and just give yourself like a roomy fit, then you'll have plenty of room to hot shrink these things so that you don't end up with sizing accidents down the road. I got the olive pair with the original Spec Chino, and honestly, this is the pair that I think is the most versatile for me and probably most people. At a 33-inch waist, and the inseam being like about 29 inches, the leg opening is a solid 9 inches, which I find to be perfect. You can go 8.5. That's still a little slim for me. I like about a 9-inch leg, and I think they look really, really good. I don't think they look too big or baggy or anything like that. And the zipper definitely helps. I love button flies, but the funny thing is, I love button flies on jeans because denim tends to break in a little bit, and after you've worn them for like 6 months, you can like rip open the fly in like one shot, right? Like, it's so convenient. Like, you know, everyone's like, oh, buttons, that takes forever. And it's like, well, it takes a little bit of time buttoning them back up. But like, once your jeans are broken in, most of my jeans anyways, by the time they're really broken in, I can just go and all the buttons like pop out. Chino material though, that's not gonna happen. And so it is a bit laborious trying to like button and unbutton the fly. So yeah, on the chinos, I actually do prefer the zipper. And yeah, the pocket layout's great. It's got the slash pockets on the sides and typical chino stuff, right? A lot of belt loops, which is good. It holds your pants up really well instead of just like 5 belt loops. 5 belt loops tends to, you know, sag in certain places because there's not enough belt loops around the circumference of the waistband. But yeah, these have been great. The one thing that I think is just really, really, really special about these, so aside from the cut and everything, because in theory you could get something similar from somebody else, but the thing that's just really, really nice to me is this fabric. The fabric really, really just Looks like we got something up here. An accident? I don't know. Traffic. There's never traffic right here. Huh. The fabric takes a shape. It's like denim. This chino fabric is like denim. It's so cool. So when you first get them, especially with the 45s, because they got those huge legs, it's like these huge, pristine, solid tubes on your legs, and it looks really unsightly to me. It looks kind of dumb. They're just kind of these like big tubular things, like really rigid and stiff, just kind of hanging out, encircling your legs. Then you start wearing these, sitting, bending, walking, all that stuff, doing jumping jacks, whatever it is you do, lunges. No. And then the creases and the folds start to set in, and they look really, really cool. And it starts to take the shape of your leg, and the top block starts to take the shape of your body. And yeah, just like denim, it's like wearing your own personal shell. So that I really like. And for that reason, yeah, I'd say these are a nice chino for casual. If you're gonna like press them all the time and keep them like starched or something and all pristine, then yeah, maybe you shouldn't, get these ones, because I feel like you'd be fighting the tide. But this is a fantastic casual chino, because once those creases and folds start to set in, it kind of knocks the edge off the formality, and it's really easy to kind of have a laid back look, but still look nice, Definitely, if I want to look a bit nicer, like go to the company Christmas party or something like that, but I'm not trying to like dress up, these are perfect. That's what chinos are for, right? But I think these ones handle it even better than a lot would. So yeah, that's my deal on the Buzz Ricksons Chinos for I think they were like $150 or something, $130, something in there, US dollars. You can't beat them. It's really crazy. Yeah, so when they're in stock, jump on Hinoya, get those. The fit pics on Hinoya are absolutely awful, so they're not going to be much help at all. They get these new chinos that haven't been hemmed for the person, and then the person that's the model is super short, so they're cuffed up all crazy, and it's that is not what these look like at all. But when you go and look at some of my pictures, Jake's pictures, Jeff's pictures, and there's some others, I think, but I'm just not as familiar with them, you get the feel for what these are like, and I think they're fantastic. And Buzz Ricksons has a lot of cool stuff like this, so definitely avail yourself of this fantastic opportunity. Yeah, as Jake told me, people think that getting something from Japan is intrinsically going to be way more expensive, and that's just not true. So if you find the right brands, you can get a made in Japan, high quality garment for a really affordable price compared to all the other heritage Amakaji brands. So yeah, that's the Buzz Ricksons Chinos. I hope you enjoyed the review, and let your chinos take you to places more important than the chinos themselves. All right, see you next time.